Greetings and welcome to another Albion Online tutorial. In this one, we're going to take a look at the marketplace. Now, just to be clear, this is not going to be how to make 3 million silver in a day type of video. Actually, for the marketplace, probably isn't very much anyways. But the point being is that this isn't how to get rich. This is just simply an introductory video to how the marketplaces work in this game. Every settlement is going to have its own marketplace. So I bring up the map. Every cross, so if I zoom out here, all of the cross settlements, so here I am at High Cross, we got Swamp Cross over here, Mountain Cross, so on and so forth. All of those are going to have their own marketplace, and all of the major cities like Tetford and Martlock are going to have their own marketplaces as well. The key thing to remember is that these are all physically separate marketplaces. Something that is for sale in the High Cross marketplace will not be visible in the Martlock marketplace. Likewise, all of these places are going to have storage chests that you are allowed to use, but again, these are locked to that location. If I have goods in High Cross and I want to sell them in Limhurst, I have to walk my goods over to Limhurst. Is there money to be made doing this? Yes, but that's an entirely separate topic. The key thing here to keep in mind is the different markets have different items at different prices during different times of the day. So yes, it is quite possible to make some very serious cash by playing the market. As sort of a demonstration of this and to show how the markets work and how to search things, I'm going to go over looking at getting a yak, or not a yak, an ox. Is it an yak or a yak? Yak or an ox? All of a sudden I am not remembering what animal it is. It's an ox. You need a journeyman's ox as a lead up to setting up for the crafting and gathering video. Yeah, I don't know why I just blanked on the word gathering there. Now, looking at, so let's see how we search the marketplace. Up here we have our filters. So if I know the word that I am looking for, well, like I just did, I'm looking for oxes, I can type in the word or part of a word and try to find it. Now, it's worth noting that it doesn't do mid-word searches. So like the word journeyman, I can't type in the word man and see everything that has the word journeyman in it. It also helps if I can spell correctly. So if I type in the word journeyman, I can see everything. So you do need to have a good idea of the general term that you are searching for. You can also filter things out by categories. There's lots of categories. So like if I am looking up, I'm looking for mounts, and specifically I am looking for oxes, I can see what oxes are available. Or if I want to look for swamp dragons, there's salamanders available for sale here. I'm not entirely sure why people are selling salamanders here, but okay. Or if I want to look at all of the available bows that can be purchased through here. So on and so forth. Another thing that I can do is I can filter it out by tiers. So if I go back to the mount, with the ox, and I only want to see what are the availability of tier 4 oxes. Okay, I can see there's one tier 4 ox on the market for 80,000. Now, do pay attention to the color of things. This ox is red. If I click on it to go look at more information, I am told that the item is not craftable, which doesn't matter. You can buy things that you can't craft. That's kind of the point of the marketplace. The more important one is the item equipable. That's not equipable. So if I come here and look at this, it's telling me that I have to be an adept adventurer in order to be able to equip that. So I'm going to first have to clear Journeyman Adventurer and then clear Adept Adventurer before I am allowed to use that ox, which honestly wouldn't be very much time at all. This is just my tutorial character, and I'm not actively playing on it. But do pay attention to that when you are looking at things on the marketplace. Be careful. If it shows red here, that means you can't equip it and probably shouldn't buy it, or at least not buy it yet. So let's go take a look. As you can see here, it goes all the way up to tier 6 oxes here for 300,000. Which again, I'm so far away from being able to ride those, it wouldn't be worth considering. But that tier 4, that's reasonable. I can reach that. So let's take a quick jaunt over to the next city over. Okay, and welcome to the big city. Now it's very advisable to use the map to check out where things are, because the large cities are obviously far more complicated than the smaller cross settlements. We'll ignore the craft buildings for now. We'll talk about those later. The important thing to keep in mind is finding where the auction house is, which is the little gavel icon, and storage. And I can see that up here. There we go. And there's the little gavel icon. Now, in the big cities, the marketplace is going to be in its own little separate spot. And there will usually be a horrifying mess of players around it. Thankfully, the game's pretty good. You just click in the general vicinity of the marketplace. You can see how I've got the gear icon. I can just click at the general vicinity and the marketplace will come up. So, now, what can I do? Well, let's look at that ox. So I want an ox, tier 4. Oh, wow. 25,000 instead of 80,000. If I had the money, I could buy one of these oxes at 25,000 and probably sell it for 50,000, and people would still possibly buy it. This is what I mean by you can play the marketplace by moving goods from point A to point B, and to make a profit. It's also worth keeping in mind that when you look at something and you're trying to make a big purchase, it might actually be worth the time investment to investigate the other cities. Another thing, of course, that can impact things is selling materials. So my birch planks would sell for 11 each here, so I could sell them for 528. Which is actually the same amount that they sell for over at Cross. I just forgot to show that. Could I potentially make more money elsewhere? Yes. For example, the quick sell value right now is 2,700. I think it was only like 1,500 over at Cross. Just didn't have the recording software running when I was in the marketplace looking at that. So it can potentially be worth it to go to different marketplaces to buy different things. Obviously, also, the main marketplaces are going to have way more options. Like if I go into, let's say magic, since I'm here, let's look at fire staffs. Oops, I don't have any of those. I have to be in the actual purchase thing. So reset. Let's take a look at fire staffs. I want a tier 3 enchantment 4. Oh, none of those exist. Enchantment 3. Oh, right. I think you need to have tier 4s. Yeah, tier 4s are right, where you start getting enchantments. So I want a tier 4 enchantment 4 staff. I mean, it'll set me back $1 million, but I can find one. Don't do that, by the way. Don't buy tier 4. Level 4 enchant gear. It's not worth it. Yeah, there's obviously far more stuff here available in the main markets than there are over in the cities.
My pleasure.
Now, the one thing you do have to be careful of going back and forth between the cities, and I will just briefly mention this here, but I'll talk more about it in the crafting and gathering video, is you do need to pay attention to resource processing. depending on how much resources you are processing, it might be worth making sure that you process resources in the cross settlements rather than in the major settlements, because you will be charged money for processing things in the major settlements, whereas you will not be charged in the cross settlements, but you can only do it up to tier 3. So there's the drawback. So depending on how much you're trying to process, it might be worth a quick little jaunt down here to do that. But as your homework assignment, so to speak, use the markets to get an ox, because you will want an ox for the next tutorial. And if this video has been useful to you, I'd appreciate a thumbs up, and if it's wasted your time and you didn't like it at all, well, the thumbs down button is right next to it. I'll talk to you next time.